All right, so I'm finally back with another video. It's almost Halloween, so you already know what that means. It's time for another spooky recommendation list. Since I tend to, beat this topic like a dead horse every year, I just figure, you know what? Why not focus on the genre of zombies this year? So whether you like your zombies slow or doing parkour, we're gonna cover it all. And since I do this every year, make sure you check out my other horror movie recommendations, horror TV show recommendations, and just other genres that I've covered in case you need something to watch. All right, so to start this list off, get ready for number 5 with some heart-pounding romance. That's right, Warm Bodies, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Please do not watch that movie. The actual number 5, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. All right, that's not it, but it is a total banger of a movie, and you should definitely watch it if you haven't. Okay, the real number 5 now, I Am Legend. So this one made my top 5 list because, well, I mean, the movie is good, but I just really feel like this movie brought everybody together. Like, I feel like whether or not you are into zombie movies or thrillers or horrors or anything like that, you've probably watched this movie. Probably because it has pre-slap Will Smith in it, and you grew up watching Men in Black, and then you got into iRobot, and you thought, I Am Legend might be like that edgy next step for you to venture out. So like, everybody's seen this movie, so I just think it deserves to be on this list. So the story follows 2 characters, Robert and his dog.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Okay, so Robert is a scientist and amateur bodybuilder, and his dog, Sam, are survivors of a virus. Well, I guess there's also Fred, but he's always kind of moving around, so.
I'll see you guys inside.
Anyway, Robert has spent years trying to find a cure for this virus using his own immune blood. However, the infected are outnumbering him and seem to possess some sort of intelligence. So will Robert be able to find a cure before his time runs out? Or you can just skip all of that and go ahead and read the book, you uncultured swine. Number 4, 28 Days Later. You loved him as Tommy Shelby. You loved him as Scarecrow in Batman Begins. You loved him as that person in all the other Christopher Nolan movies. And eventually you asked yourself, I wonder what Cillian Murphy's butt looks like. Well, good for you, this movie will answer that question. 28 days after virus-carrying chimps are released into London, Jim wakes up from his coma, discovers the city in ruin, and people who are infected and acting like zombies. Sounds very similar to The Walking Dead, I must admit. After he meets some other survivors, they make their way to a sanctuary through this apocalyptic setting. Now, this story has a lot of things in it, but it does a really good job of showing how just dark and savage people can really be when they're pushed to their limits. All right, so number 3, Zombieland. Now, I hate that this is this high up on my list, but I honestly can't put it down any farther. If you haven't seen this film, hello, like 5 of you out there. How you doing? This is like a classic comedy horror movie with Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone. So you already know it's going to be a banger. In this movie, a shy student decides to go on a journey to see if his parents are alive after the zombie apocalypse has happened. And along the way, he meets some very interesting characters that travel with him across the zombie-infested US. One of the main points in this movie is that he makes this list of rules to follow in the zombie apocalypse, like cardio or double tap. But there are also some really good rules that you can use now while you're still, living in the modern world as well, like enjoy the little things or seatbelts. Anyway, it's a fun time. There's even a sequel, which I thought there was no way that it would be any good at all, but I watched it and I enjoyed it. So I can't be mad about that. Give this movie a watch. You 5 people out there. Number 2, #alive. Now we're going to be heading into some foreign films, so get your subtitles ready because let me tell you, Korea just does zombies better. #alive came out of nowhere and just instantly became one of my favorite zombie movies. Obviously, it's number 2. In this movie, while a gamer is in his parents' apartment gaming, sounds like you, huh? Suddenly there is an outbreak and people start acting like they're on bath salts, eating faces. He tries to stay inside and outlast whatever is happening, but he slowly loses internet, water, and other essentials. Did I mention that he lost the internet? When he's losing hope, he sees a cute girl in the apartment across from him and makes the only choice he can. He tries to rizz her up. So will they be able to survive until help comes? What I think sets this movie apart from others on this list is just how real it feels. Like, this guy is just sitting in his parents' apartment, living his best life, when the zombie outbreak happens and he doesn't even realize what's going on. Because who watches the news other than your parents? There isn't much food in the house because you're always procrastinating shopping. And he doesn't go on some epic journey like across the country or hole up in a mall like you've seen a million times. He's just an introvert and just decides to stay inside and not interact with anybody. Like, how relatable is that, right? It just seems much more grounded as it can for, a zombie apocalypse. But I don't know, some of y'all be walking around on your smartphones all day, like, we're pretty much already there. I mean, let's be real. Plus, the zombies in this movie are just like cray-cray, but in a good way. All right, so now we're gonna move on to some honorable mentions. Like, I thought this list was gonna be super hard to make, but then when I started thinking about it, like, there's just like so many zombie movies that I feel like I need to talk about. So I'm just gonna like run through some real quick, not give too much explanation about them, just throw them out there. First off is Resident Evil. I mean, this is basically like the most iconic video game movie adaptation that there is. So like, I just feel like I need to mention it, but is it the best? All right, Shaun of the Dead. I mean, who hasn't heard of that movie, right? This is just like a movie that everyone and their brother's seen, and they all think it's the best thing since sliced bread and, a bag of chips. And you know what? I'll tell you, it's all right. It has its moments, but it's all right. Army of the Dead. Now this one's a little bit more recent, Zack Snyder film. Me and IMDb kind of disagree about this movie. People seem to not like it. I really enjoyed it. People really seem to like Zack's other zombie film, Dawn of the Dead, better, but I honestly just kind of thought that movie was mid, other than the zombie baby, because that shit was hilarious. World War Z, this one's for all of you that love fast zombies that could outrun you even though you claim to be a fitness influencer. And now, number one, best zombie movie, Train to Busan. I said it before and I'll say it again, Korea just does zombie movies better. I mean, this one is pretty popular and it usually makes a lot of people's top zombie lists out there if you look. But I will say the plot is very shallow, like your ankle deep personality, but it's a fun ride. It's kind of like if Mad Max Fury Road was a zombie movie. Like I said, there's not much of a plot to explain here other than, he's on a train to Busan. And there is a story that's going on with him and his daughter, but mostly you will just be so engrossed in the action and suspense and everything else that you just won't even care about the plot. Also, again, I just don't know what it is, but the zombies in these Korean films are just better and scarier than they are in American films. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. They're just so much more creepy and just realistic, I guess, than what I'm used to seeing. And I love that for us. So don't let subtitles stop you from watching awesome movies. And yeah, with that is my top 5 recommendations for zombie movies. I keep seeing this The Dead Don't Die movie come up. I haven't watched it, but evidently people really like that movie. So you can always give that a watch. I might give it a watch. And let me know any other genres you want me to cover for recommendations. And with that, I will see you all beautiful people next time. 28 days after virus carrying